We begin with a busy day at the White House.
That's right. President Biden is holding multiple key meetings today, including one with the president of Israel. But with less than 2 weeks until Election Day and a dipping approval rating, the president is focusing today on the economy. Earlier, he announced a series of actions aimed at helping families that are struggling to keep up with rising prices.
I know it's been a tough few years, but from day one, my administration was laser focused on easing the burden facing working class families and giving them, as my dad would say again, just a little breathing room.
Let's bring in CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes, looking very autumnal there outside of the White House. Nancy, so given the timing of all of this with the election just around the corner, how significant is today's announcement?
I think it's one of several economic announcements we're going to see between now and Election Day. Lana, as the president and this White House try to prove that they are laser focused on pocketbook issues, which they know are at the top of voters' minds, all the polling displays that. So today, the president was really taking aim at one of the more annoying aspects of the economy, which are fees, either surprise fees that you don't anticipate, things like big overdraft fees or even deposit fees that you might get hit with at the bank, and then also mandatory fees that are exorbitant. We've all had the experience of purchasing a ticket for an event or staying at a hotel. You get hit with a big resort fee or a processing fee that doesn't seem to have any value behind it. It's not as if anyone did you a major service that accounted for this fee. So what he was announcing today was action by both the Federal Trade Commission and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to try to get rid of some of these fees, a move that he argues could save consumers a couple $100, which he argued, when you put that on top of the other steps that his administration has taken, could make a real difference. The bottom line here is that this White House is well aware that the biggest challenge for people's pocketbooks right now is inflation. There's very little the White House can do about that. And so they're trying to show that they're taking aim at high costs around the edges where they can.
And Nancy, just to pivot to another issue, yesterday President Biden said the White House is in constant contact with Russia over Brittney Griner and her potential release. Do we know if there's been any progress on bringing her home, any progress in that prisoner swap that we know the White House has been discussing with Russia?
Well, in a sense, the fact that they now are in contact is progress, because for a long time it was sort of radio silence on the Russian side. But so far, U.S. officials tell us that they haven't made any breakthroughs. They don't anticipate that they're going to be bringing Brittney Griner home any moment now. This was a major milestone yesterday. Obviously, it was bad news that this three-judge panel in Russia upheld her 9-year sentence. On the other hand, this is another step in the legal process, and U.S. officials have always warned that it might not be possible to get her home until the legal process fully played out. But for now, what we do know is that she is set to leave her jail cell sometime in the next couple of months. She'll be sent to a prison camp. Those camps are notorious in Russia. People are made to work up to 16 hours a day. They are, in some cases, mistreated. It's no place that you want an American or anyone to be held. But U.S. officials say they continue to try to push for some kind of prisoner swap. One thing we're told not to anticipate, at least at this point, is a face-to-face meeting between President Biden and President Putin about this when they're both at the G20 in Bali next month. They say that President Biden has no intention of sitting down privately with his Russian counterpart.
Very interesting on that.
Yeah.
Well, one person he is sitting down with is Israeli President Isaac Herzog at the White House today. Israel's government obviously is in flux with their own elections in the coming weeks.
Right.
I'm wondering, Nancy, how that affects the meeting that's happening today and potentially the overall relationship between the two countries.
It's really interesting because the U.S. has refrained so far from criticizing Israel publicly about the fact that Israel, up to this point, has been unwilling to provide any military assistance to Ukraine, like so many other countries around the world have. In this case, Israel has been worried about antagonizing Russia, possibly Syria, so they've provided humanitarian aid, but no military aid. And in fact, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky actually criticized Israel publicly yesterday for that. One thing that we've seen reported is that the Israeli president is not coming empty-handed today. He is actually going to share some intelligence that the Israelis have gathered that indicates that Iranian suicide drones have been used by the Russians to commit attacks in Ukraine. That's something that the Russians and the Iranians have insisted is not happening. Obviously, that would could have a bearing on Iranian nuclear talks that are taking place right now, but the Israelis appear to have gathered some intelligence on that front. So we believe that that's something that he'll be discussing behind closed doors with the president in the Oval Office today.
All right. Well, Nancy, looking great outside the White House. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.